Los Lunas, New Mexico, and we were having a little difficulty with the internet, but I think we've got that resolved. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the JV game, and they're about to get into the fourth quarter, so it'll be a little while before we get to the varsity. So plenty of time to be able to get you set up, get ready for it with pregame from Los Lunas, New Mexico, where at this point it is going to be the number 2 Los Lunas Lady Tigers taking on your number 3 Hobbs Lady Eagles. The Lady Tigers have a record of 9-0. We'll talk about that, as well as the 6-1 record that the Hobbs Lady Eagles come in with. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage. Right now, it is 48.9 seconds to go in the third quarter with a 27-23 lead. Hobbs leading by 4, and that 3 on the way, no good. And we'll continue the coverage right here. We'll give you bonus coverage of the JV game in the entirety of the fourth quarter. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Ooh, 33-32 with the home team up by 1 on the Hobbs Eagles. This is JV coverage, and hopefully we're getting it on. Do apologize about the technical difficulties. We've been having some internet connection problems. hoping to get that resolved as soon as possible. We still have a little time before the varsity team comes out, starts to warm up. And by that time, I'm hoping that these connectivity problems will be a thing of the past. .5:21 right now. Once again, still 33-32 with Hobbs Eagles down by 1. Hopefully the screen doesn't look like Jackson Pollock Hart. .36-32 now. It's a 4-point game with that three-pointer. All right. Be back in a moment. We got 5:10 to go. As it is 36-32, Hobbs trailing. Be back in a moment to get you started on the pregame, as we are continuing to hope that the internet will remain good. Welcome back to what promises to be the game of the week, as it is going to be actually the coaches poll and the Max Prep poll are a little different than each other, but that's nothing new. As number 2 Los Lunas, the Lady Tigers, host the number 3 Hobbs Lady Eagles, and it should be a barn burner because this team, this Los Lunas team, is 9-0. They're 4-0 at home. They just got off of a 3-game tournament, which was in Las Cruces. And that was the Las Cruces Holiday Hoopla. They were 3-0 in there and got the championship off of that one after beating Cibola 0-4. It was an easy win, 74-23. Then faced Las Cruces, and that was a victory for the Tigers once again, 69-43. And then just the other day, faced Centennial on Saturday, and that was 56-35 was the final. Centennial ranked number 8 currently, and number 9 is Las Cruces. So that is one of the factors that we'll put in to see who may win. Of course, the game itself will definitely determine who's going to win on this one as we get into it. For the coaches poll, like I said, a bit of a different story than what they have for the Max Preps. In fact, it is, well, if I go to the right one, that'd be great. So Rio Rancho, number 1. Albuquerque is number 2. Hobbs is ranked at number 3 with 95 votes at 6-1. And Los Lunas is ranked at number 4 with 9 victories and 94 votes. Neither one of those got a first place victory. 3-1 for Texas teams. And that was couldn't tell if that was deliberate or not, but nevertheless, she did give him an elbow. So again, not quite sure if it's intentional or not, but nevertheless, it is going to be a technical. And it kind of looked like it was against Mackey, Audrey Mackey, the freshman. First one goes in, 37-32, 4:47 remaining. Yeah. Oh, actually, they put it on. Well, I don't have a roster, but if I could guess, actually I couldn't. So it wasn't the one I thought it was. Definitely made sense. They got 42 on there, but that is 42. Yeah, that is Monroe. She's part of occasionally she's part of the varsity team, but Melanie Monroe fouled out. with that one. 4:41 to go, 37-32, and Hobbs, who had the lead at the halftime with a 29. Actually, they did not. They had it in the first half. Yeah, that's right. First half was 19-12. Third quarter was 17-9. Los Lunas got the 17. Hobbs had the 9. And Los Lunas grabbed the lead 1 point, 29-28 for the third quarter. And so far, 37-32. That means that it's been 8-4. So doubled up on them, and that'll get them 9-4 for Los Lunas as they are trying to cruise their way on to a victory, and hopefully that won't be the same case for the varsity team. The varsity team, though, leads in the series 3-0 against Los Lunas, but they have been close and tight games. We'll talk about that in a moment. Of course, we'll also, like I said, talk about the holiday tournament for both the boys and the girls, and so many other things as well, as we are 4:30 remaining in this game. And once again, 39-32, JV trailing the Lady Tigers of Los Lunas. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome from Los Lunas, New Mexico, where we have 3:19 to go in the fourth quarter, final quarter, of course. JV squad trailing right now, 39-34, as that's another turnover for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Los Lunas has been fighting back since the first half and have the lead and have not relinquished it since the end of the third quarter. The school was established in 1926 as that shot misses. Be a jump ball. Looks like it'll be in the possession of Hobbs. And it will be. 2:51, 39-34, 5-point difference. Turnover for Hobbs as it goes quickly the other way for a nice layup on the left-hand side. And 2 points makes it 41-34, 7-point lead. Unfortunately, hit the floor and is limping, so she may be out. Don't have a number on her for the JV squad, but she is going to be getting to the side. Rotation for Hobbs. 2:40 to go, 7-point deficit. Anyway, 1926 is when this school was founded. Manny Vigil is in his third season after being a coach at Venezuela. Valencia. This school, when they first started in 1926, was formerly known as Solomon Luna. So you find out a lot of interesting things if you know where to look. Turnover again for Hobbs, having trouble getting into the front court. Going up for a long two, looked like, and no good. Rebounded by Hobbs. Double teamed on that one, but still able to get the ball out. And not before a foul. That should be the fifth one, and actually they're already in bonus, Hobbs is. So they'll be shooting bonus for the rest of this 2:10. So anyway, it was formerly known as Solomon Luna. Their colors are royal blue and orange. So they will be in the white with the blue trim, with the blue lettering, and a little orange there to give it a little more color. Meanwhile, black and gold with the Hobbs Lady Eagles for them when they come out. Missed that one. Still a 6-point game, though. Los Lunas has had a little more games than Hobbs has, so 9-0 for the record. Hobbs has yet to be in a tournament, but they have had some tough opponents in Texas. Los Lunas has stayed in New Mexico so far this season. With just 96 seconds to go, a 6-point lead for Los Lunas. Hobbs playing the defense. Three-pointer on the way, and it drops in. 44-35. Now that makes it 9 points for the deficit. Looked like it was about to be lost, and instead will go for another foul for Hobbs. As that player fouls out. Timeout on the floor. And with 1:13 to go in the game, we're about to get ready for the varsity squad to come out and start practicing or warming up. And when we do, that is when we will start the pregame. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Sports Network. Free throw off the back of the rim, and that means it is a 9-point game, still 44-35, 34.2 seconds remaining. And Hobbs' chances of coming back on this one are drawing slimmer and slimmer as the time expires. Down to 30 seconds. Getting a trap pressure on the front court and loses the handle on that one, and turnover for Hobbs. Pretty much seals the deal with 20 seconds to go, and all Loose Lunas has to do now is just run out the clock with 16 seconds, and the varsity, or the JV, will definitely be victorious just by the final score possibly of 44-35. Yes, indeed, they are content with the outcome of this. 1 second to go, and that'll be it. Final score for the junior varsity, 44-35. Hobbs comes up short on that one after being up 19-12 at the half. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage, and we'll get you started on the varsity squad as the Lady Eagles continue their tiger hunt on this safari and take on the Los Lunas Tigers right here in Los Lunas, Mexico. Be back in a moment on this Tuesday afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to Hobbs Eagle basketball as we are here in Los Lunas. I am Ron Gunner. With the camera is going to be Jared Bear. We've got the jester on the side just to make sure that everything is running perfectly, and we do have, hopefully, internet throughout this game as we were having trouble with it earlier. But connection seems to be good, and I'm trying not to jinx it at the same time as letting you know what's going on. So Los Lunas comes in, this school was established in 1926. They have a 4-0 record at home. They just recently got through a 3-game tournament in Las Cruces, coming back, and they're going to be facing the only team this week for both sides. In fact, actually, Los Lunas won't be playing again until the first of next year. And, of course, you know about the Hobbs Holiday Tournament that's going on next week. We'll talk about that, though, later on. But right now, it is going to be the Hobbs Lady Eagles coming in with a 6-1 record, 1-game winning streak, versus the 9-game winning streak, 9-0 record for Los Lunas. They are ranked number 2 in Max Preps. They're ranked number 4 with the coaches poll. And with both sides, Hobbs Lady Eagles are ranked number 3rd. I really don't put any stock into the rankings early in the season, especially from the coaches. But it is nice to know that they were recognized, even though they didn't get a single number 1 vote, as they have been in the past. They just recently were number 1. Now they're back now to number 4 in the Max Preps. For the Los Lunas Lady Tigers, how they got their record was a couple of wins with Las Cruces. They started off on the 25th of November with a 68-45 win, and that was here with Las Cruces. And then Centennial right after that, 49-26 was the final, also here as well. Also beat El Dorado, who are now at number 13 in the rankings. On the 1st of December, 57-35 was the final. Goes on the road to La Cueva, able to get that one. That's La Cueva is actually ranked now at number 7, but that was a victory of 58-31. Alamogordo, which is going to be the measuring stick of these two teams because both sides have faced them. But at that time, it was here, beat Alamogordo by a score of 56-17. Took on Valley and pretty much dominated them. 82-23 was the final score on that one. Followed by the, once again, the Las Cruces Holiday Hoopla, starting off with Spola, who were at that time were 0-4, and ended up with that victory, 82-23 for the Los Lunas Lady Tigers. Cibola, after that, it was Las Cruces once again, faced them for the second time, and defeated them. This time it was 69-43, so very similar to their first game. And then number 8, Centennial, came in, and it was also very similar. 56-35 was the final. Centennial being able to score a little bit more than they did the first time around. And it was a little bit more scored for Los Lunas as well, as they were in Las Cruces, once again winning that one. That's once again the Las Cruces holiday hoopla that they participated in. Now last year it was an interesting game. It was number 7 Los Lunas going into Hobbs, number 2 at that time. And it was also a return for Munez, who had returned from an injury. She ended up getting 2 trays and ended up with 6 points for the sophomore on that game. Zapata also played that one but only had 2 points, and that was off of a free throw. Actually, that was off of one bucket for her. Meanwhile, the Tigers had a free throw percentage, or it's 50%, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, for Hobbs, they got 10 of 18 from the line. And it was Golina, Veda Golina, who had 6 points for the Los Lunas cause. But again, that was a close game, as it was 12-9 in the first quarter. Second quarter saw both teams struggle a little bit, but they ended up getting 12-11. Los Lunas had the 12. Hobbs had the 11 for the 2-point lead at half. 23-21 was the score. Third quarter saw a surge for the Hobbs-led Eagles, as I'm sure they were also using their full court press. And it was 16-7 was the score. Hobbs was 16, Los Lunas was 7. Final quarter saw 19 points put up for Hobbs. Los Lunas struggled a little bit and only got 10. Final score was a 20-point victory, 58-38. One of 3 victories they've had against this Los Lunas squad. The other 2 came in the same year. One was on a neutral field, and the other one was for the playoffs that year. So these 2 teams have seen each other 3 times. This will be the 4th. This is the first time in a while that Hobbs has been over here. I've been here before, but that was for the guys. And I can tell you this much, that the crowd is definitely going to be supporting their team. They did earlier, as the JV squad once again lost. Hobbs lost to Los Lunas by a score of 44-33. So what do we expect from Hobbs as they come in here strong after that loss against the Tigers of Friendship? They have done very well to get back on track and want to do that again. Not quite sure who the starters are going to be. Need to get the lineup so we can get that right. But otherwise, sorry about that. I had everything planned except for that. Of course, once you get your internet functions continued or completed, then everything else is good. All right, speaking of which, it is good to have you here. So let's go back to the pregame. Not sure who's going to be starting. I have a feeling I know who's going to be starting for Hobbs. They seem to be starting the same 5, but for Coach Manny Vigil, like again, his 3rd season, he was formerly from Valencia and coached there as well. So his 3rd season here. We know that Coach Carpenter, he's on his 542nd career win, and he's also in 3rd place in the coaches' leadership board, so he's 2 away from number 1. Of course, Maya is still coaching, so he's number 1 right now, and he's going to be the one that's going to be beat Coach Maya from Mayfield. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer he's going to be coaching for and how successful he'll be over the next several years, or how many years he's got left. And we will see who is going to be starting here for Los Lunas here in just a second. We'll go over the lineups as well for both sides. Hobbs comes in with 43 trays for the season so far. Free throws, they are 64 of 98. That's 65%. Not bad, but of course, Coach would like to see those numbers improve, as Carpenter is once again 2-1 on the road this year, 6-1 overall, and has about 54, almost 55 points averaged a game as what they score, while they only allow 32.8, about 39 points almost. Los Lunas comes in with an average of about 63 points is what they do each and every game, while giving up only 31. So they're pretty consistent as far as that goes, as far as being able to be strong on the defense and good enough on the offense to be able to go with some blowouts of their games. But definitely going to be interesting to see how these two teams match up with each other. I'm going to go ahead and get the lineups for you here in just a second. I'm going to start off with the home squad. And that, of course, is going to be the Los Lunas Lady Tigers. So let's see, it looks like it is Via Salazar. She's a freshman. She'll be on the floor, along with Brooklyn Hanks, Mariah Duran. Brooklyn is an 8th grader. Mariah also is an 8th grader as well. So they've got 3 seniors, 2 juniors, 4 sophomores, a freshman, and 3 8th graders that could be playing anytime during this game. Also has Halen. Tried to mess me up on this one. Halen Johnson on the floor, the sophomore, 5'8", along with Halen. Let's see, that would be, I don't know if they wrote that one right or not. It looks like there's number 25, Halen McElroy. And that's one of the reasons why you get these rosters, to make sure you get all the players that are going to be playing. So for the starters, looks like it'll be number 1, Grace Baca. She's a senior. Also, Jalexa Ornalis, sophomore, number 2. Going to be Sienna Flores. Sienna is a junior, number 21. Number 22 will be Kayla Finley, sophomore. She is at 5'11". She may be the one that's going to be doing the jump. And Mackenzie Brooklyn will be out there. Actually, it'll be Brookins Mackenzie, number 42, and she's a junior. So those are all of them. Let's go over to Hobbs and let you know what the lineup is going to be for our squad. Starting off with Armitage. Looks like she's going to be back in the game again after missing a few. Elena Armitage, she's 7 of 10 from the line. She's a senior. It'll be Jordan Mendoza as well, number 14. And the junior will be out, along with Mariah Mojica, number 20, sophomore. Some people might recognize the last name Mojica. Different player, though. It'd be Melanie Monroe with number 42, along with Katie Godwin, number 52. She is 5 of 6 from the line, a senior. Meanwhile, it is going to be Madison Zapata to start off, number 4, the senior, along with Zaylee Hardison. She is 5'10", one of the taller players on the squad. The junior has not been on the line so far this season. Meanwhile, it'll be Rivera, Rivera, sophomore. Also, Zoe Ross, number 24, the 8th grader. who is doing very well, 8 for 13, and she is getting about 13.7 points a game. Also, Caitlin Muniz, again, last year she was on the squad. This year she is as well, and is a junior. She'll be starting as well. Looks like Navarro is going to be out. So it'll be a shallow bench, but nevertheless, though, there seems to be every week a different starter or different player who steps up strong. And this time around, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Armitage come in and just try to run up and down the court. She's been gone for a long time. I think it's been 4 games since she's suited up and been able to play. Let me double check. Yep, I got it right. 4 games. And the last one, she only had 4 points. So she's only played 2 games so far this season. Expect to see something strong out of her. And she may be one of the key differences that will make Hobbs a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and a little bit tougher to get a victory against for the Los Lunas Tigers. So again, the game that I want to say that is the measuring stick that will show what you may expect is against Alamogordo. Hobbs was able to get that one a victory, 68-18. 56-17 was what Los Lunas did, both of them at their home courts. So wasn't on the road, wasn't as difficult. We're going to get the national anthem, be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, we are back. That was the national anthem. Thank you very much for being here once again on this Tuesday afternoon. And it is just after 4 o'clock, so getting a little late start, but that is not unexpected as the JV squad was on beforehand to play. Just didn't go the Hobbs way. Introductions are being done right now. Once again, it is Elena Armitage, Jordan Mendoza, Mariah I'm looking at it too much. Mexico, along with Audrey Mackey, Melanie Monroe, and Katie Godwin. So for the starters, it'll be number 4, Madison Zapata. Number 22, Zayla Hardison. Number 23, Carla Rivera. Number 24, Zoe Ross. And number 33, Caitlin Muniz. Can't understand what he's saying, otherwise I was going to try to get the... Brooklyn Hanks, the 8th grader, along with the 8th grader Mariah Durin. Haylin Johnson, the sophomore, along with Alexa. All right. Sina Flores, 5'8" is what we've got on here for the junior, number 21. Kayla Finley, number 22, sophomore, 5'11". She's one of the, I think she is the tallest one on the court as well as on the team. And number 44, junior Mackenzie Brookins. Of course, Manny Vigil, third year as coach. We are about to get underway. So everything on the line right now for both sides. We'd love to get this victory, to get one to get out of the year and the other one to get into a holiday tournament, as the other one already has done that. Looks like the tip-off will be Finley, and that'll be versus Hardison. Hardison unable to get the ball to him, so the tip goes to the Tigers. He goes into the front court right now and is lost, and yes indeed, first loss for the Tigers on that one as it goes the other way for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Into the hands of Zapata, over to the left wing, and that'll be in the hand of Muñez. Back over to the right wing now, and that is going to be Rivera. Goes cross, go to the left, and now back over to Muñez. Dribbles it in, goes and tries to pass it. Instead, it gets over to Zapata. She gets double teamed. It will be out of bounds, unfortunately, and that'll be a turnover for Hobbs, first one of the game for them. And we are 1-1 on the turnovers right now with 7:16 to go, scoreless. And an inbound coming from, that'll be Jalexa. Ornalis. Now to Baca, back to Ornalis. To Baca. Getting across the timeline. And will be double teamed. Get back over to Baca. And she's going to put up a three off the front of the rim. Rebounded by, that is going to be Flores. Tried to put it up, missed, rebounded, and actually she loses the ball, so I'm not quite sure if she actually had the ball or not. But Hobbs, unfortunately, loses that one and gets it back to the Lady Tigers. Score is still tied at 0. Underneath the basket, tries to put up a lane shot. Does so, as it is Finley who gets her first shot. 2-0 so far for the Eagles. For the Tigers. Back cross are the Eagles. Into the hands of Rivera. Double team, goes out of bounds. Looks like it will last touch by a Tiger. With 6:18 to go in the first. Armitage already in. Looks like it'll be Godwin going out along with, that was Rivera. Armitage for a 2, missed. Rebounded by, that is going to be Flores for her second. Gets it across the timeline. Going to go ahead and take it to Ornalis. And actually that's Baca for 3 off the front of the rim and will be rebounded. That is going to be by Hardison. Armitage already hitting a shot, or missing it anyway, but getting the foul for her. As she speedily went across, went coast to coast. Foul is going to go against Baca. No, sorry, that is Ornalis for her first. Team's first as well, as that first one goes off and misses for Armitage. Still has one more attempt to do. 2-0 with that one going in. 2-1 now. 1-2 from the line for Armitage. She hasn't been played. This is her first game back. So kind of like Muniz last year. She came back after an injury. So did Armitage. On the other side, as it's going to be a shot put up and drop in for, that is going to be Finley, her first. As it is now 4-1. And unfortunately, a turnover for Hobbs as it goes out of bounds. And it'll go back the other way for the Tigers. 5:36 to go. 4-1 is the score. And it'll be inbounded to Baca. Back over to Ornelas. Gets across the timeline against Zepeda. Going to go ahead and get the lane and Juke and be able to get a 2 off of that one, off the bounce off the glass. Zepeda on the left-hand side, tries to get it inside, but unfortunately that gets intercepted against Hardison. Turnover for Hobbs, number 3. Going back the other way. We'll be back to Jalexa. Over to the right wing, that'll be Flores. Back to the top of the arc for Baca, inside. Once again to Finley. Over to the left, Finley. Actually, that was going to be Flores for 3. Misses their shot. Rebounded by, looks like that was Ornelas. Meanwhile, the action getting a little intense for the crowd here as they think that should have been a foul. And it looks like it may have been. First one for Hobbs, and that'll also be the first one for Zepeda. It's 4:44 remaining in the first, 6-1. Hobbs trailing early in this one. Going over to the left, actually back to the center. It's going to be Ornelas to the left wing. Tries to get it inside, does, as the shot from the line is missed, and that's going to be by Brookins. Goes back the other way. Turnover for the Tigers. Second one. Zepeda over to Armitage. Top of the arc for 3, and banks it in for 3. So Armitage with her first 3 in a while. As the inbound goes back to Ornelas. And then over to Flores. Ornelas now as she crosses the timeline, gets double teamed, gets it inside, gets it back out for a 3-pointer on the way, and it does not go in. So a rebound for the Tigers, and it'll be Mendoza who's in the game for the rebound that time. It'll be a turnover for Hobbs as that one goes going to be inbounded by the Tigers. It'll be Ornelas again, back over to Baca to the right wing, or left wing now for a 3, and an air ball. Unfortunately misses everything on that one. 6-4, 2-point difference, 3:39 to go in this first quarter. And Armitage with the ball as she gets it up 2. That would be Rivera back in the game again. To the left wing, going to challenge, gets double teamed, and will be a tie ball. And it's going to be going towards, looks like that'll be a Hobbs to inbound. So Hobbs retains possession underneath the basket as Armitage going out. Coming in is going to be Zoe Ross. Also Godwin coming back in. Going out will be Hardison. Take a couple of threes. Let's see what happens here. Zoe thought about a 3, but decided to pull up on that one. Goes to her left wing. Inside Godwin. Feeds her, and nice assist from Godwin as she gets that 2-pointer to go. And that'll be for Mendoza. And a turnover for the Lady Tigers. Third one of this quarter so far for him, as Zapata will be inbounding. 6-all is the score. Let's go ahead and get that. With 3:13 to go in the first, and Hobbs comes back to tie it. The Rivera gets double teamed. She's going to get out of it. Now go to Zoe, to Mendoza. Mendoza going to drive the lane a little bit. Gets it back over to Zapata. She's going to drive the lane, get triple teamed though. Loses the handle, gets it back, shoots it up, misses off the back of the rim, and rebounded by, that is going to be Finley. And the foul is going to go, looks like, against Rivera, her first. Team second. So 2 fouls for Hobbs, 1 for the Lady Tigers. As that is Ross, who is defending against, that'd be Ornalis. Back to Ornalis again. Inside, back out again for a three-pointer on the way on the left shot. And it'll be no good for Hanks. The 8th grader back the other way quickly for Mendoza. Goes underneath the basket, gets triple teamed. And it's going to be a jump ball again. This time it's going to go to the Lady Tigers, looks like. So turnover number 4, actually 5 for Hobbs, unfortunately, with 2:26 to go on that tie ball. Looks like they're going to be employing a little bit bigger press, as it's taking a little longer for the Tigers to get across. Still have not crossed the timeline. Finally do for Ornalis. Gets it over to the left wing, back over to Ornalis, top of the wing, or top of the arc. Over to the left, right. Inside, and it is Godwin who comes up with the steal. Her first. And Hobbs with the ball. It'll be Mendoza to the right wing. Gonna feed that off to Zoe, over to the left for a 3 on the way. In and good, and that is going to be from, that is Munoz. And she's already had 98 so far this season for her career, and she's got one more now. So that'll be 99 for her career, first one of the night. And a lead for Hobbs. Ornalis with the ball as she's about to inbound for the Lady Tigers. A full court press is going on, as it is Brookins who had it. Going to go ahead and be stolen by Zoe Ross. Tried to put it up, and no good, but no call. It will be lost by Hobbs. Both sides lose the ball for turnover. 6 for the Tigers, 4 for Hobbs. Inside, double teamed, and almost lost the handle. Looks like she did actually lose the handle, was Johnson. And Halen Johnson, the sophomore, as that one is going to be called against, looks like that'll be, actually that'll be on the Lady Tigers. So Grace Baca gets her first, team second. Hobbs will inbound the ball. Ross with the ball over to Armitage, who's back in the game again. Gets through that nice little double press, goes over to the left wing, puts up a shot for 3, misses, and it'll be for Rivera, who tried to put up that tray. Goes out of bounds. It looks like it'll be a walk. So it's a walk. So it'll go out of bounds. Sorry, not go out of bounds. It'll go towards the Lady Eagles after the Lady Tiger took a little travel. So another turnover for the Tigers. 5 for them. Oh, nice move from Armitage. Gets the score as well, as she was able to drive the lane and get it underneath everybody. Puts it up and in. 11-6, 1 minute to go in the first. On the other side, it's going to be Hanks with the ball. Back over to Baca. Gets it on the left-hand side to Flores. Back to Baca. Baca with the ball. Now over to the right. Back to Baca. I don't know if they're not sure exactly what to do with the ball. Get it inside. Loses the handle. Picked up by Hobbs. And that'll be Munoz who gets that one. Gets it across. Tries to put up a shot. Misses. And that'll be missed by Rivera. And the scrum on the floor. So it'll be a jump ball, as it was Munoz who had that steal to get the offense set up and started. 32.9 seconds remaining. It is 11-6 game. Hobbs up by 5 so far in this first quarter. Up for 3 from Munoz. Misses and didn't get the roll that she wanted to. Rebounded by, that is going to be the Tigers. Other way, that is Baca once again, top of the arc, near the timeline, back over to Flores. Over to the left wing for a three-pointer on the way by Baca. Nothing but air. Muniz with the rebound. She goes back the other way. 2 seconds on the shot clock as she was trying to get it up and in, but instead misses the layup after getting through a double team. So that is the end of the first quarter, and the score is 11-6. Hobbs in the lead by 5. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network, whether you're on HobbsAmerica.com or on YouTube. All right, we are back, and that was the end of the first, and 11-6. Got to tell you that it was 6 points from Alina Armitage for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, and it was Jordan Mendoza who had 2, along with Muniz hit a tray herself. So 2 trays so far for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Meanwhile, it is Baca, Finley, and Carrasco, each with 2 points to get them their 6. Getting into the second quarter, it's going to be inbounded by Los Lunas. They did win the tip. We're going to be back in business. Los Lunas with the ball, and it'll be Ornelas once again over to her right wing, back to Ornelas as she crosses over to the left. Getting pressure by Zoe Ross, gets it back to Ornelas, and then tries to get it in. It's actually still outside the arc. Over to Ornelas. Ross on her. Inside. Tries to defeat it as they turns around for the shot. And puts it in on the righty for Finley. 2 points there. And we'll get the and one as well. And that'll be against. That is going to be Hardison, her first. Team's first. Now when it's going to roll around and go in, so she was able to get that one to drop. First free throw of the game for the Los Lunas Tigers. Cepeda with the ball on the other side of the court. She gets over the right wing with Zoe Ross. Ross gets it to back to Ross. Getting it off to Hardison. Thought about a 3. No, she backs off on the goes to her. And that is Muniz. Looked like a 3 off the front. Did not hit, so it's an air ball, unfortunately. And rebounded by. That is going to be Flores. Knocked out of bounds. Looks like it'll be last touched by. That is Rivera. So Rivera going out. Looks like Armitage coming back in along with Mendoza. And also going out is going to be Hardison. Tries to put it up and misses off the front of the rim. That is going to be, looked like that was Cameron. Almost stepped out of bounds. Instead puts up a 3. Air ball underneath for the rebound was Mendoza, but misses that shot. Tried to get the other second rebound, but missed. Rebounded by, that'll be the Tigers. Tigers remain as Hobbs had that earlier turnover, unfortunately, because of those missed rebounds. 2 rebounds for Mendoza so far in this game. Meanwhile, back over the Tigers on the front court. Goes to the left, thought about a three, instead drives the lane, gets double teamed, loses the ball. Armitage gets it for her second steal, and it goes inside to Muñez, tried to get a shot, did not fall down. It goes back quickly the other way for the Lady Tigers. Looks like it'll be a 4 foul. It could be against Armitage. And it is Armitage's first foul of the game, and the second one for the Eagles. Timeout on the floor as we get everything caught up. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here. Eagles with a 2-point lead, and it is 11-9. Be back as we continue it right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. I want to thank our sponsors for whom we would not be able to put these on the air. Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, along with Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding Windows and Doors, along with Bel Air Bowl and DNC Electric. Thank you very much for your support. Without you guys, we would not be able to put these on the air. 11-9 is the score. It's the second quarter as we're getting out of a timeout. It'll be underneath the basket of the Lady Tigers. Looks like Mendoza, Armitage, along with Ross. And it'll also be Mojica on the floor. And I'll get that fifth one here in just a second. As it is Ornelas, back over to the right wing. Inside, tries to feed it, and does. To Finley, back out again, and almost lost the ball was Ornelas. Gets it back to Ornelas as she is going to get closer to the perimeter. Back out to the timeline as she is being guarded by, looks like that is Mojica. Three-pointer on the way on the right wing and drains it. That is going to be nothing but net for Ornelas. That's her first three. And from what I can tell, that is also the first three of the game for the Tigers. It is. Other way, and Zoe Ross puts in a nice layup on the right-hand side for two to get the lead back for the Eagles. 13-12, 4:44 remaining in the first half. And a nice little pass, a little suspect, but goes inside, puts up a two, misses the shot, and that'll be for Flores. The other way for Eagles. And Zoe with a miss on that one as she was unable to get that one to fall. Looked like a good opportunity for her after getting the rebound. The Ornelas over to the right wing. Back to Ornelas, top of it, inside. And will be a push foul, unfortunately, by Mendoza. Her first, team's third. As it will be inbounded on the back line. Looks like going out will be Flores. Coming in is going to be Salazar for the Lady Tigers. Back to Ornelas near the timeline. And inside, gets it underneath, but loses the handle. I think she would have gotten a walk anyway. Nevertheless, Cepeda with the ball as she gets it stolen. Goes up and under, puts up a layup, misses everything, and unfortunately it's going to be rebounded. Actually, that'll be a nice long rebound by Mendoza. Her third. Tried for a shot. Cepeda once again, her height not helping her as she lost the handle on that one, and it goes back the other way. Another turnover for Hobbs. Off the mark, but a put up and clean the glass. Put it back in for two. That is Finley, her second rebound and her third points. That's six altogether for her. As that one goes up and in for Cepeda, her first three of the game. And they are exchanging blows, so to speak. 16-14 now, 3:25 to go. Cepeda with her first three once again. And that is going to be the third tray for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. One back the other way will be Baca to Finley. Tried to drive it inside the lane. Looks like there may be a foul against Mendoza again as she hits the floor. And it will be against Mendoza, her second. Jordan's second. That'll be the team's fourth. And one more, and that'll put the Tigers in bonus for the rest of this quarter. Off to the left. Tries to get it inside. Did get the fumble pass over to, that was Ornelas. As it goes in, looks like that it's going to be Finley with hers, and that'll be 8 points for her now. That is 16. Armitage, nice hippity hop, but could not finish it. And it gets in the hands of, that is going to be Rivera. Three-pointer on the way, misses by Zepeda. And Armitage on the floor trying to get the ball, but instead it is Rivera who gets it again. I'm going to call that a rebound on that as well. Her second. 2 in a row. Armitage at the top of the arc right now, directing traffic. So Rivera inside to Zepeda. As she is one-on-one. Back out again. They thought about a three, but instead Armitage to her left wing. Now it's that is Mendoza. Back out again to Rivera. To Mendoza inside Zepeda. Looks like she has an opportunity. If she wasn't double teamed, she did get around it. And she lays it up on the left-hand side for 2. Count the basket. No foul. And that'll be a 2-point shot and a 2-point lead for Hobbs. 18-16, just under 2 minutes to go. Double teamed inside now. Back out again to Baca over to Ornelas, who is getting covered by Mojica. And she wasn't able to get out of it, but she did get it to her teammate. That is going to be Finley. Tried to get a shot. Misses. Rebound is going to be, looks like a rebounding foul as Mendoza had the ball last. Going to be a couple of substitutions coming in. Looks like Muniz is going to be back, along with Mojica going out, and that'll be Armitage as well. This is Zepeda with the ball, going to inbound it. Get it over to Mendoza. Over to Muniz, up for 3. Misses off the back of the rim, rebounded by Ross. As that one goes out of bounds. That's the first rebound for Ross. May have been another one, but that's what I've got recorded so far. As it is in the hands of Zepeda, going to inbound the ball with 1:27 to go in the first half. Mendoza with a 3 on the way on the right-hand side, just beyond the arc. And misses that shot, rebounded by, that is going to be the Tigers. Travel on that one, as it is Baca, Grace Baca, the senior. Thought that was going to be a jump ball, but instead she gets caught traveling. It'll be a turnover for the Lady Tigers. Hobbs with the ball and the lead, 2 points. Be back in the hands of Rivera, over to Ross, inside. Back over to Rivera, top of the arc, over to the right wing for Zepeda. And now to the left from Muniz. Goes ahead, put up a WNBA 3, misses off the front of the rim. Rebounded by, that is going to be Salazar. Up ahead, and that's going to be to the hands of Flores. Flores for 3, misses off the front. Rebound, and be a bump foul as it'll be against, looks like that'll be Hardison, her second. So going the line to shoot 2. Looks like that'll be Hanks. That one misses, the first one does. That's her first attempt, misses. Second attempt for the team, and that one does go in for the third. So 2 of 3 from the line so far. As now Ross has the ball, top of the arc, gets over to the left-hand side for Hardison. Actually, that's Rivera. Tried to throw it inside to Ross, but instead it is deflected and taken away. Another turnover for Hobbs. This goes the other way. Missed shot, goes back now for Hobbs. Cross to go down. Well, I thought she was going to go coast to coast, but instead hands off. Now back in the hands of Ross. Over to Rivera. Thought about a 3. Goes ahead and puts the 3 up. Off the back of the rim. And will be rebounded by, finally, that'll be Hanks. I believe that's her second. Inside, passed, and depending on, it is actually going to be a turnover for the Tigers as it was a bad pass, got to the hands, thrown too hard, and goes out of bounds. Last touch looked like that was by Finley, the 5'11 sophomore. So 4.5 seconds remaining in this first half. 18-17 actually, 1 point difference. Didn't get that in with a shot on the way, misses off the back of the rim for Zepeda, and it will be 18-17 to score. And we do have a nail biter, I told you it would be, as we come back strong in a couple of minutes. Let you know what's going on right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, let's talk about numbers here as we are in the halftime right now. Lady Tigers trailing the host by 1, 18-17. Lady Eagles on top, as it is the 6-1 Lady Eagles versus the 9-0 Lady Luna Tigers. And it is, let's start off with scoring. Neither side has anybody in double figures yet, as we've got Santa coming out here to give some goodies away. It is going to be pretty much Finley, who is the sophomore, 22, who is getting the job done for the Lady Tigers with 8 points. Got Carrasco, Flores, along with Ornales. Actually, Ornales has a tray, the only one of the game for the Tigers, and she's got 3 points. Everybody else has 2. Grace Baca with 2, along with Sienna Flores, Carrasco, and again, Kayla Finley with 8 points, all from the floor. There's only been actually 9 points because of the and 1. So she's got 9 points. And that's right. Hanks has 1 of 2 from the line. And there's the other one. All right, so that is. So just double check on that. It is 9 points now for Finley, 1 away from the double figures. Grinch on the way for 3, actually for yep, made it. He got the bounce. Going to go for one more try as he gets possibly a check. And makes it. Wow, nicely done. So drains those and the backflip. Crazy over here. Anyway, 9 points for Finley. She had 8 from the floor and 1 from the line. Have a 3-pointer from Ornales. Baca with 2, 1 from Hanks, and Carrasco with a 2 as well to get their 17 points. Meanwhile, they also have 14 rebounds for the team. And again, they are 2 or 3 from the line. So far, free throws have not been an issue in this game. And on either side, really. As the leading scorer right now is the one who came back after being gone for 4 weeks. Has had a tray and 6 points altogether. 1 or 2 from the line is what she is for Armitage. Zepeda hit a tray as well. 5 points is what she's put up so far, along with Muniz, who has her 99th for her career, and 3 points is what she has so far in this game. Ross and Mendoza, both with a deuce each as they put up a bucket. And again, only 1 or 2 attempts have been made by Armitage, 1 or 2 from the line. So they are right now at 50%. They've been shooting 65% from the line for the season. So with 43 trays coming in, they've got 46 trays as a team going on so far. Just under 5 minutes to go as we are continuing to get coverage on this game in this halftime. You're watching it right here on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and also on Facebook page, whether it be, could be on the Eagle 100.5, the Facebook page. Once again, want to thank our sponsors while we can. Want to thank Lasco Construction, Eastern Mexico University, TDS, Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding Windows and Doors, along with Lee County State Bank, Bel Air Bowl, where, that's where you have fun and bowl, and DNC Electric. We're going to have more fun as we come back strong. Again, this is going to be a tight game. We've got it right now, 18-17 as we're at the half. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. For those keeping score, it is Godwin with an assist also, and 2 steals for Hobbs, one from Monroe, actually from Godwin, and the other one is going to be from Muniz. So far right now it has been a bit of a trade-off on turnovers from both sides. I have unofficially 9 for Hobbs and 10. Well, actually 9 also, so 9 and 9, both sides with 9. Some of those have been back and forth on those, unable to make those pay off, aren't able to capitalize on them. So this is the reason why it's just a 1-point game. Second half could be one of those where we're going to see more free throws. Still haven't been really anybody in bonus problems yet. And unlike earlier when we saw the JV squad, where 2 girls, 1 from each side, were thrown out because they had 5 fouls. Once again, though, the final score for the Hobbs Los Lunas JV squad game unfortunately went to the Tigers, 44-35. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage. We've got 90 seconds for the tip-off again on this one. We'll be back strong, continuing coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, coming up next for the Hobbs Eagles, for the Lady Eagles, it'll be a familiar foe as they're going to be facing against Alamogordo. Now, these two teams, I didn't get to talk about this, but they match up pretty well as, again, the first quarter Hobbs averages almost 16 points for the first quarter, while Los Lunas had only just 10 points. Second quarter, 14.3 for Hobbs, while Los Lunas has a lot better average at 16 points. Third quarter is a little stronger for Hobbs. 17 points is their average per game, while Los Lunas has 15 points. In the fourth quarter goes to the advantage of Los Lunas as they have 12.7 for the fourth quarter and 11.3 in the fourth quarter for Hobbs. Although usually they don't have to worry about that so much. They're already in mercy rule at that time. 63.2 is the average per game for Los Lunas, while Hobbs averages 54.7. But Los Lunas has not faced this Hobbs Eagles team or a defense anywhere like them. Third quarter is about to get underway as Ross is going to be inbounding the ball. Looks like that'll be to Zepeda. And back over to Ross again, who had her 27 points not too long ago. Zepeda also led in the first game. Gets her back to her, back over to Ross. Thought about a three and goes ahead and gets it back over to Zepeda, who was near the timeline. Thought about it and instead, unfortunately, couldn't decide what she wanted to do, and that indecision causes a turnover. First one for Hobbs in this third quarter. On 23rd of December, and one last game for at least Los Lunas for the end of the year, Hobbs still has the holiday tournament. Back in the hands of, that'll be Ornelas, sophomore. Tabaka back to Ornelas. Gets across the timeline, gets it inside, back out again. That'll be over to Ornelas once again, over to Baca to the left. Tries to pass it, does get it in there as a shot is attempted and missed. But it is Brookins who gets the ball, gets it back to, that is going to be Flores. Back to Flores on the right wing. Being guarded. Back over to Flores. Three-pointer on the way, unguarded, and nothing but net. That is her first one of the game. And that'll put the Tigers in the lead. Ooh, close to being out of bounds, but instead does get it, and that's going to be in the hands of Rivera. Three-pointer on the way on the left-hand side for Muniz. Misses the shot, rebounded by, that is going to be Finley. Goes out of bounds. Last touch apparently by Hobbs. So, no turnover for the Tigers. Gets it way out there to, that'd be Flores. Just put up a three. Near the timeline, top of the arc. Over to the left, or right now, to the left now. Gets it stolen by Zoe. That's her first. And going to hippity hop and get it in as well for two. Tie game at 20 for Ross as she puts up 4 points. Goes back the other way, cross timeline, gets it hit. And it looks like it'll be, turnover for the Lady Tigers as it went off the knee. Did not get deflected like they thought it did as it went to the backcourt and went out of bounds. So Ross with the ball. Gets in the hands over to the left-hand side of Muniz to Zepeda. Now she may draw. Thought she was going to have a drive, but instead gets it inside underneath, gets double teamed, and that'll be a walk. That'll be unfortunately another turnover for Hobbs. Third one of the quarter. So Hardison unable to handle that pass. Now she is sitting back on the bench again. And the Lady Tigers with the ball. Almost got stolen by Ross. And instead, to the right wing for a three. And misses off the front. Rebounded by, that is going to be Finley. Was unable to make it, though. And Finley with her fourth rebound. Zepeda on the way with two, and she pops it from the right to make it two more for Hobbs. Two-point lead for Hobbs as it is now 5:19 to go in the third quarter. And Zepeda with 7 points. Three-pointer on the way, air ball. And that looked like that was me from Baca. Got a rebound from Mendoza. And that'll be her fifth. Three-pointer on the way from Muniz. Misses out the front. Rebounded by, that is going to be Ornelas. To Baca, back to Ornelas. Three-pointer on the way for her, and nothing but net. I believe that's her, that's her second one since the first half. And now it is a 1-point advantage for the Tigers. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, we are back as it is 4:43 to go. Tigers up by one as the Lady Eagles play again the Tigers. Muniz with it, drives the lane, gets it to the right-hand side of Mendoza. Nice assist by Muniz as well as Mendoza for two. That's 4 points for her. Going the other way, and the lead, by the way. Looks like a foul against. Would be against Muniz. Her first, team's first as well, but a shooting foul, and that'll put on the line to shoot two. Brookins, first time on the line for the game. In and out, and that will miss. Right now, the team is 2 of 4. Armitage back out there again. Sitting down will be Rivera. Second one also missed. So that puts them to 2 and 5 as Armitage does have the ball. Drives the lane, puts up a shot. Nice little righty. Doesn't get it to fall, but does draw the foul. And that should be against. That'll be probably McKenzie. McKenzie, her first. And that is also the team's first. Armitage up. The only one who's been on the line for the Hobbs Eagles, and she is 1 of 3 so far. One more opportunity, though, to get a point. 1 point lead with 4:17 to go in the third quarter. Armitage, though, she is, She got that one, though, so 2 of 4 from the line. She was 7 of 10 before then. So now she's 9 of 14. Just at 4 minutes, Baca with the ball on the right-hand side, gets it all the way over to the right. To the hands of Hanks, back over to Baca. And now Ornelas loses the handle for a second, but back to Baca. Two-pointer on the way as she floats it up over Armitage, misses it. Rebounded by Mendoza after a long rebound. That's her sixth. Up and in, and looks like did not get the roll. Thought she might for Muniz, as she does draw the foul. So this will be her first attempt on the line. Is that a shooting foul? And that'll be against Ornelas, her second. Team's second as well. So both teams still nowhere near bonus. First one is going to go rattling in. Nice job for Muniz. One more to go. Second shooter for Hobbs on the line. Just been Armitage before then. 3:38. Second attempt is up. In and out. And will be rebounded by Zepeda. And I've got that as her first. Probably not, but I'm going to have that as her first. So inside to Mendoza. Uses up her dribble. Back out to Muniz. had a chance to get a three, but instead running a layup for two, and she does a great job putting it in and extending the lead now 28-23. 5-point lead for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Baca with the ball, almost had a travel, but instead puts it up on top for Ornelas. Three-pointer on the way, in and out, and will be out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers. Turnover by, actually, no, they did not. Apparently it got hit by Zepeda, so back again, and that's what I forgot. All right, so over to Ornelas, top of the arc, over to the right. Over to Baca, thought about a three, instead goes inside, back out again. And over to the left wing now, inside. And we'll get the call. Is that going to be a blocking foul or what? It's going to be against Godwin, Katie Godwin, her first, as she is in the game. So that'll be just the team's second for them. Gets it back out again to Hanks for Brooklyn. Back to Brooklyn on the right wing. Gets it inside. Back out again for a three on the way. Off the back of the rim, and will go out of bounds. As that one was put up by Brooklyn, the 8th grader Hanks, who is about 5'10", at least that's what Max Prep says. So Tigers with the ball and trailing by 5. Over to Ornelas once again. Tries to get it inside, does so, put it back out again for a three on the left wing, no good from Hanks. And be back inside again, now back out again, but stolen by Rivera, who is going to draw the lane coast to close and lose the handle and loses the ball as well. And unfortunately, that means turnover by Hobbs, looks like, as it goes out of bounds. Looks like she just lost her footing on that one and then lost the ball. And then it travels out of bounds. So Rivera did everything but try to get the layup, and instead just got the steal. Back to the Lady Tigers. Gets in the hands of Ornelas. Gets it back again to Flores. Right wing. Inside now. Got that running shot for Finley. Instead, draws the foul. Looks like that'll be Godwin again. No, instead, it looks like it'll be Armitage, her second. Team's third, puts to the line to shoot two. Finley, she is 2 for 2 from the line. Make that 3 for 3. (28-24), one more to go for Finley. As the 5'11" sophomore puts it in. 4 for 4 from the line. 3-point difference now. Armitage with the ball as she crosses the timeline. She may drive the lane. She's going to get it out, but instead an ill-advised pass as it gets right in the hands of Baca. Turnover for Hobbs, number 6. Back over to Baca, being guarded by Armitage. Gets it back over to Hanks. Hanks puts up a running shot, misses, and the rebound will be Brookins, who will get the foul called against her, or on her. Let's see who they called that against. Looks that'll be Rivera, her second, and that'll be team's fourth. Maybe, I guess that was a shooting foul because she is on the line to shoot two. First one is up. It will fall in. Her first attempts. No, actually, that is her second time up. First shot made. Narrows it down, 28-26 now, with 1:34 remaining. One more opportunity for McKenzie. And 2 out of 3. And Tigers getting hot on the line. Armitage now with the ball back again. Crossing the timeline. Working the left-hand side, getting it over to Muniz. Over to Armitage on the left. To Mendoza inside, back out again. Muniz for three, and nothing but net. Second one for the game for Muniz. And that should be an assist for, that'll be Mendoza. Just under a minute to go with Lady Tigers having the ball. Inside, gets knocked away, gets it back into her hands, loses the handle for a second, but will put the shot up as she is fouled. I don't think that shot's going to count. I think it was on the floor for Hardison. It looks like it'll be Brookins McKenzie with her foul, and it is her second one. Team's third. Still nobody in bonus yet. As it is going to be two opportunities for Hardison. First one in and out, and she will miss. Only the third Eagle to be on the line so far today. The crowd here not happy with the call. Well, why would they be? They're a little biased. I mean, let's face it. It's just that way it happens. Second shot for Hardison on the line. Up and off the front, but see if there's going to be a lane violation. There was a whistle on the floor. And it didn't look like it was going to count anyway. So Hobbs still struggling on the free throws. Inbounded by the Lady Tigers. Over to Hanks. Right wing, going to drive against Armitage. Pull it back out again over to Ornelas. And going to be stripped and taken. And that is going to be by Hardison. Three-pointer on the way from Ross. Nothing but net. First one of the game for. We got a whistle on the floor. They have a timeout. Let's see. Actually, it's going to be a substitution. Didn't get there in time. So going out will be Hanks. Coming in, looks like that'll be Duran, the 8th grader. 22.9 seconds remaining in the third quarter, as it is a 7-point game. Full court press gets into the hands of Finley. Back to Ornelas with 15. Three-pointer on the way from the left-hand side, misses. And a rebound on the floor, as Armitage is one of those on the floor, along with Duran, who just got in the game. And with 9.6 seconds remaining, let's see who gets the ball. It'll be underneath the basket for the Tigers, looks like. And our quick substitution once again for both sides. This time Muniz out, Zepeda back in with 9.6 remaining in the third quarter. Gets it into the hands of Hanks. Drives. Bad pass, and it'll be a turnover for the Lady Tigers as it go the other way. Zepeda to Ross for two. So not the way that the fans here wanted to see this quarter end. Sometimes the mind goes quarter end, and that will be the end with 36-27. That is the score. Hobbs with the 9-point lead. We'll be back in just a second or two right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. So one of the reasons why Hobbs is in the lead, 10 points were only allowed for the Los Lunas Tigers, while Hobbs doubled up. They had 18 at the half. They have 36 now to go along with their normal 17 average. So they got their average, and they held Los Lunas to below average. They usually get 15 points each quarter, or the third quarter. This time around, they only got 10. So they got them 5 off of that. So here we go, the fourth quarter, 36-27. Hobbs wants to hold on to this one. Los Lunas wants to make sure that they get back to lead, because that would be their first loss, 9-0 in the season, 3-0 against this Hobbs Eagles team. as they have the ball. We are underway, fourth quarter. In the hands of Jalexa Ornalis. Now back over to the top, to the left now. Ornalis getting back to the top again near the timeline. Checking out the defense. What's going to give? Over to the left-hand or right-hand side for a three on the way, and will be nothing but net as it was Flores all alone. That's her second three of the game. Armitage, a little out of control, but still able to keep the ball. Gets over to Mendoza, and then back over to Zepeda. Ross has the ball, back to Zepeda. Over to the left wings. Ross for three. Misses everything, unfortunately, and that would be rebounded and a turnover for Hobbs to the Lady Tigers. Lost for Lady Tigers as well. First one of the quarter. Up and in, and that's for Ross, who answers back and gets 2 more points and increases the lead once again, 38-30. Over to Brookins. Off to the right-hand side, out of bounds as that pass went wild. And let's see if it was touched. It was touched last by Hobbs, unfortunately. So, nice hustle, but could not get the ball, and it will go out of bounds. Last touch again by Hobbs, which means that they will be inbounding it, and they do. Back to Baca, right-hand side. Thought about a three instead, gets it inside. Puts up a two and misses, as that was Finley, and be rebounded by Zepeda, her second. Zepeda over to Muniz, who wants to get, apparently she is getting close to getting some records for threes. And speaking of three, misses it off the front. Gets a rebound. That is going to be by Brookins, her second. As now it is Ornalis over to Baca on the right-hand side. Far right now. Inside as well. She drives. Teardrop shot put up and in. Nicely done. Expertly done by Jalexa. And 2 more points for the Lady Tigers. And a palming on that one by Zepeda, and that'll be a turnover, unfortunately, by Hobbs. Number 7 for the half. Second one for the quarter. 5:51, 6-point difference. As it is 38-34. Inbounding the ball will be Baca. Looks like that'll be either Ornalis, and it will be to Ornalis. Stolen by Muniz, but we'll get the foul call. As it will be foul number one. Foul number 2 for Muniz, and the first one for the team. Into the hands of Finley. Up for a shot, and will drop it in. Nice little teardrop. She has 11 points now in the game. First ones of the second half for her. Stolen. And let's see what happens on that one. As it was Ross who had the ball and was stolen away from her. And that could be a turnover for Hobbs, and it looks like it will be, as getting the foul is going to be Mendoza. Jordan Mendoza with her third, second one for the team. And inbound of the ball will be the Lady Tigers. Thought about a three, instead drives it inside, puts up a shot, misses off the front, and rebounded by Mendoza. And that is going to be her, looks like 7th. To Armitage. Off to the left wing. Zepeda inside. Double team. Going to go ahead and get it out to Armitage once again underneath the basket. Puts up a shot. Gets it off the front of the rim. Mendoza with another rebound. And looks like it'll be a foul for Hobbs to put him on the line. Shoot 2. Foul's going to go against. That'll be Mackenzie Brookins, her third. And that is going to be the team's first. Mendoza on the line. Her first attempts. First one is going to go in. A little relief, as, like I said, Hobbs has been struggling on the line so far. Haven't been on the line much, but have struggled. They were 2 of 6. Now they're 3 of 7. One more attempt off the side, and will not get it. But do get the ball back. Turnover for Tigers. inside to Mendoza. Gets it underneath Armitage, and she gets knocked as she hits it and drains the two. So she puts up the bucket, and she's going to get the and one as well. Let's see who's going to get the call. It's going to be the first one for Flores. So team second. Armitage, who has not been doing great on the line, but has 50%, 2 of 4, and will miss that one as well. It has 10 points. So she is in double figures right now. And there was a foul over the back, unfortunately for Hobbs, and that'll be against Mojica, her first. So it makes teams third. Going back the other way. As that one is laid up and put in for Brookins, her first points of the game. And it'll be 5 points. Up for 3, I believe, unless that was just a 2, but misses. We'll get the rebound for Rivera over to Ross, and there's a whistle for a timeout. We've got 4:24 to go and a 5-point lead, 41-36. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage. And the Hobbs Eagles on the Hobbs Eagle Network, whether you're on HobbsAmerica.com or on YouTube. We are back, and I knew it would be a close game, and it is a 5-pointer with 4:24 to go as the 9-0 Los Lunas Tigers are taking on your 6-1 Lady Eagles. Inbounding will be Ross over to Armitage. Armitage is going to get it back to Ross on the left wing, and she's going to get it all the way over to the right to Mojica. This young team has really grown and gotten stronger, as even with injuries. Speaking of which, Alan Armitage inside, or Lena Armitage, gets it over to Mendoza. Unfortunately misses that one. Rebounded by, that is going to be McKenzie, her third. As it is, Ornalis going to go coast to coast, put up a driving lane. Now, she's had some nice floating shooters. She misses that one, but she does draw the foul. Let's see who it's against. Looks like it'll be Mendoza, her fourth. One more and she's out. Unfortunately, team's fourth as well. One more, and that'll put Lady Tigers on the line for the bonus. Ornalis, her first attempts. First one is going to be in. And if it's any indication on how she shoots, she will get both of these. Some substitutions coming in. 3 in, 3 out. Ross still there along with Armitage. Looks like Ross as well. Second one goes in as well. 3-point difference. Zepeda with the ball. Gets it and unfortunately throws that too much. Happy feet as she gets way over the head of Armitage. And turnover for Hobbs. Team's ninth this quarter, or this half. And 3:50 to go on the 3-point difference. It is the Lady Tigers with the ball now. Inbounded to Finley. And a scrum and a jump ball. So Lady Tigers lose the ball off the loss of possession with the possession arrow going to Hobbs. So inbounded by, or into Armitage. Armitage is going to cross the timeline, go to the right-hand side, go to Zoe Ross. Get it back inside over to Armitage. Double team. Goes ahead and turns around. Gets a drive. Backs out of it. And to Zepeda at the top of the arc. Zepeda to the right. Armitage there on her elbow. But she will actually get it back to Armitage with 3:18 to go. Armitage, nice move. Falls as she passes to Zoe Ross, who gets knocked down, but no call on that 3 shot. There will be a foul. Let's see who it goes against. Say that is the second one for Grace. Team's third. Inside for three, and bam, nothing but net. Nicely done. Of course, that is by Muñez. Her third one today gets her 101 for her career. And Armitage wrestles the ball as she usually does, and it will be, unfortunately, a foul against her in the process. Looked like it was all ball, but then again, this was called from her behind. And so that'll be her third. And unfortunately, that is going to be team 5 foul, so that'll put her on the line to shoot 2 for Brookins. Brookins is, I believe she is 2 of 3 from the line. She makes that one, 3 of 4 right now. Tigers have had more opportunities on the line so far today. Second one is up and in and out for a miss. 3 of 5. So with 2:50 remaining, Armitage with the ball going to the right, driving the lane, and will be out of bounds. Actually, it'll be pushed foul. Looks like it'll be against Flores, her second. Team's fourth. So one more now to put Hobbs in the bonus. Both sides will be on the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Right now it's 2:47, or actually the game. Zepeda with the ball. And we'll throw it just beyond Armitage. Second time that has happened. Another turnover for Hobbs. Not the way you want to go this late, and of course, ever actually, but will be inbounded once again. 2:47 remaining as no time went off the clock. And a 5-point lead for Hobbs. Well, now let's with the ball. Stops at the top of the arc and gets her. And that is her second to Muñez. That's right. Back over to Mendoza. Mendoza drives the lane, gets double team. Loses her. Actually, before she was able to get it off, got called for a travel. And that'll be another turnover for Hobbs. And starting to lose grip on the ball, or at least sloppy possessions, are coming up with no points. 0 calories is what they called it. 2:16 to go, though, as Baca has the ball. It'll be a tough press on the Hobbs Lady Eagles, as that's a reach over for Mendoza. That'll be her fifth, and she is going to go bye-bye, unfortunately, for the game. But she will have 5 points. So she ends the game with 5 points. She also had 7 rebounds and 1 assist. So not a bad game for Mendoza. As to the line to shoot 2 will be just the woman who was up there a moment ago, Brookins, who was 1 of 2 from the line just a moment ago, and 3 of 5. Now make that 3 of 6. I like those. One more opportunity with 2:11 to go, as we're about to get into the 2-minute warning on this one. And it is McKenzie once again. One more opportunity. Missed the last 2. And we'll make that one. Can't always get him to miss. Goes across quickly for Ross. Stops, put it over to the left. Mendoza for 3, up and in and out, no good. Rebounded by the ball by, that is going to be the Lady Tigers. Up underneath, missed that shot. Rebounded by, finally, Muñez. And let's see, it's going to be a foul on it. Against, looks like that'll be Grace, her third. So that is going to be foul number 5, and that means we're both in bonus on both sides. Just under 2 minutes to go, minute 53 to be exact. As let's see who's going to the line to shoot 2. Looks like it'll be Muñez. For today, she's only been on the line once, and then 1, and she got it. In and out, no good. And that is not what you want to see as a Hobbs fan. 44-42, a 2-point lead. Could have been 4, but now they grow to 3 as it is going out of the ball game as Rivera coming in as Zepeda. One more opportunity for Muñez. Up and sinks it. So 2 of 3. And a 3-point lead as well. Over to Ornelas to the right wing. Going to go ahead and drive the lane. Hand it off. And that is going to be to Finley. Drive the lane, stop, and loses the handle. Zoe Ross has got it. She's going to run for it. She has the legs, but she misses her shot as she was unable to get that to go in. But she did get the steal. And on the back court, let's see what happened on that one. Looks like it'll be a foul, so it's going to go the other way. 2 for the Lady Tigers. This will be on Mojica. Not Mojica. Munez, her third. And on the line to shoot 2 will be Finley. She is 4 of 4. Make that 4 of 5. One more opportunity for Finley with just under 90 seconds to go in the game. And that one does drop in. Inbounded and a quick scrum as it is a tie-up ball. Looks like Baca and for Hobbs, Ross, the kiddo, and it'll go the other way. Nobody happy about that one. No Tiger fan is happy about that one, as that is going to be called against her for her 4th. And because they're in bonus, Ross on the line to shoot 2. First time for Ross as well to shoot free throws in this game. She has been 8 of 13 for the season. Now they make that 9 of 14 as she makes it in and increases the lead by 1, 43. Actually, I got to fix that. There we go. 46-43. One more to go. Off the back of the rim. Rebounded by, that'll be Flores. Looks like that's her 5th. So 1 of 2 from the line for Ross. 3-pointer on the way, air ball, and will go out of bounds. Tried to save it, but instead goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Lady Tigers. Timeout on the floor with Coach Carpenter wanting to take that one with just 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining. I'd like to thank our sponsors, without whom, of course, we will not be able to put these on the air for free for you. Thanks again to Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding Windows and Doors, along with TNC Electric, Bel Air Bowl, Lee County State Bank, Force Tire, Divine Energy, Master Plumbers, and Badger, along with Lasco Construction once again. Thanks again for everybody's support. Without you guys, of course, we would not be able to put these on the air and get them to you for free on the internet. Again, we're going to have our games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Boys and girls are going to be playing. Girls will be on the internet. Boys will be as well, but they'll also be on the radio on Cool 95.7. Of course, Ty Friend will be there. So we got a close game, though, 3-pointer. Much closer than it was last year, and that was in Hobbs. Final score on that one, though, as Hobbs was able to pull away in the third and fourth quarters, 58-38. But right now, 43-46. Hobbs on top by 3, and they had the ball in the back court, though. Cepeda looking to inbound. Does get it to Ross. Deacons double team, and we'll get a bump foul, as that one looks like it's going to go against Salazar, her first for the freshman. And all fouls, except for offense, will go to the line. Actually, that'll be Baca, and if that is, that'll be her 5th. They don't show her as 5th. She only has 4. Either way, though, she is going to be, up there it is. She's going to foul out with 2 points. So each side has had 1 foul out. Ross to the line to roll in 1 for the free throw. That is her 3rd attempt, 2nd make. 2 of 3 from the line. 47-43, 1 more attempt, and she does make them both. Nicely done. Under pressure, cool as water, or cool as ice. And now it is 48-43, 5-point lead. Los Lunas the other way with just a minute to go. Tries to make a shot. 22-on-22, as that was going to be a foul against Hardison. Her 3rd against Findlay. Findlay's been one of the leading scorers on this game, at least 9 points in the first half. And she has also been the one that has been shooting one of the most on the line. First one goes in. She's only missed one so far. She's 6 of 7 with one more opportunity with just under a minute to go. Puts it up and puts it in. 3-point game once again as that one goes out of bounds, knocked out as it was trying to get to Armitage. Looks like that was Ornelas Jalexa who pushed it out of bounds. Back on the side now. Ross this time with the ball back over to Zepeda. Trying to get a foul, and that is not the one you want to foul against, but nevertheless they're trying. Armitage with the ball, double team, turns around, gets it back out again, and gets it to Zepeda, going to slow down the pace a little bit with 43 seconds remaining. To Armitage, thought about driving the lane instead to Ross, over to Zepeda, back to, bad pass almost back to Zepeda. And we now have 31 seconds to go, back to Armitage. Over to Ross. Ross is going to get it back to Rivera, or to Armitage. 20 seconds. She's going to drive the lane, hippity hop, puts it in and scores. Nicely done as she got the lane wide open almost. Was able to get it in. 50-45, 7 seconds to go. Shot put up and nicely done put in, but that may not be enough as that is going to be Findlay with her shot. And it'll be 4.5 seconds to go. 3-point game once again. And get out the nails. It's time for biting. As we have another timeout, we'll take one with them. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. So both sides trying to deliberate what they're going to do for their final seconds of this game. 3-point difference, and if the Tigers can get a three-er, they could get this tied up and maybe even put it into overtime unless there's an and one. And Hobbs is going to, of course, avoid the fouling at this point. Just try to get a hand in the face, try to make sure that they get some defense on them and get a little interference on that to avoid that three. But it is Hobbs' ball, so that's the other thing, too. I mean, for the Tigers, they're going to go ahead and have to foul. And unless, of course, they lose the ball, but I don't think they will. But they've got 4.8 seconds to go. Expect a quick foul from the Tigers, and they're hoping to see 2 missed shots on the line. Zepeda with the ball right now as it gets into the hands of Armitage, and she is going to get double-teamed and fouled as well. Took 1.8 seconds off the clock, 3 seconds to go, and if Armitage can get one of these two, then that is the game, but or should be the game anyway at this point. Didn't see who got the call on that one, but I don't believe it matters at this point as Armitage is going to go up for the 2. She has been on the line 5 times. Now this is her 6th, and she misses, unfortunately. Still has an opportunity to get one more try. She has had, I believe, well, she was around 50%, 2 of 4. So she's 2 of 5 right now. Could be 3 of 6, and that could be just enough. 50-47. Here we go. Off the back of the rim, and will be rebounded by the Tigers with 2 seconds, and stolen by Armitage, and that is going to be the game. So even with Armitage missing both of those, she was able to make that steal and get out of trouble. So they weren't able to get into the back after the backcourt. And the final score, 47 for the Tigers. As the safari continues for the Eagles walk away with a victory with 50-47. Back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, we are back as we had 3 players in double digits for the game. Also for the Tigers, they had 2 in double figures. Did a really good job as far as 3 free throws, just could not get enough of those to get in. So let's see what we've got here. Hold on 1 more minute. I'll be back, and I will definitely have all the numbers. Missed 1 set, and I'll be right back. What can I say? It was a close game, and Hobbs almost lost this one in the end, but final score once again 50-47. 36 after the third quarter, 36-27. So that means 20 points for Los Lunas put up in the fourth quarter. And it was 19 for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Actually, no. Doesn't quite work out. 14 is what they were. Sorry. Looking at the wrong side. So let's get the numbers, starting off with the Lady Tigers as they continue their safari one more time with Alamogordo next week to start the Hobbs Holiday Tournament. So the first one that is the leading scorer for both sides, Los Lunas, was Kayla Finley, the sophomore, 22, 5'11", and she had 19 points, along with 7 and 8 from the line. That's where she got most of her points anyway, 8 of those 19. She was also 5 rebounds. Had 5 rebounds also for Flores as well, 6 points off of 2 trays. The other one in double figures was Jalexa Ornelas, and she had a really good, nice shot a couple of times. She did get 2 threes, first and for one in each half, and wound up with 10 points altogether after 2 for 2 on the line. She had 2 rebounds as well. Was also 6 points for Flores, already talked about that. 4 points for Mackenzie Brookins off the bench. She had three fouls, but she did get to the line 6 times, or actually it was 4 times, and made the most of hers at the beginning. She had 3 of 4. Missed 2 of them, though, and she ended up being 4 of 7. That's right there. So as a team, 14 of 19 from the line for the Lady Tigers, while it was 7 of 13 for the Lady Eagles. The Tigers turned the ball over 17 times. That looks like that is all the numbers we have for the Tigers. Meanwhile, on the other side, it is going to be leading the way. There was, like I said, 3 in double figures. Lingerie was Ross with 14. She had 1 tray, and the rest were buckets. She was 3 of 4 from the line as well. Also, Alana Armitage, who was good, 6 points in the first half, and she ended up with 13 in the second. 1 of 2 from the line in the first half, and she was 1 of 3 from the second. She had the winning steal, though, towards the end to stop Los Lunas, the Tigers, from trying to get that opportunity to score again. So 2 of 6 from the line, 13 points, and 1 steal. That was, again, the last one for the game. Also, Muniz, 3 trays to her name, so now she's got a 101 to go in the record book for her career. She had 13 points altogether, 2 of 3 from the line, and assist as well as 2 rebounds. So there was 5 scorers for Hobbs and 6 for the Tigers. So that'll put a game ender on that one once again. Final score 50-47, as you see. Coming up next is going to be the Hobbs Holiday Tournament, starting off with Alamogordo for the Lady Eagles. As they face them, they are currently a 14-game winning streak. That's actually now a 4-game winning streak against Los Lunas going back to 2021. What's on top? Yep, 4th game, 4-0 is the record against this Los Lunas team now. So expect to see a little bit better rankings for Hobbs as they go into the Hobbs Holiday Tournament. Last couple of days of the year to try to see what they can do. First game again is going to be against the Alamogordo Tigers. Let's see who they can have an opportunity, a chance to get to play in the next round, win or lose. It will be the 8th annual holiday tournament, by the way. So the winner will have the opportunity to play the winner against the El Paso Eastward game versus Piedra Vista. Piedra Vista usually is a pretty strong team, although last year they were struggling a little bit. So you never know who's going to win that one. And that'll be on, of course, Tuesday, starting at 6 p.m. First game, though, is going to be at 6:15 at Tasker on Monday evening. And that'll be right here on HobbsSports.com. on the YouTube channel as well as HobbsAmerica.com. Some of the teams that are going to be in the 8th annual tournament will be El Paso Americas, Farmington, Mayfield, Albuquerque High, El Paso Eastwood, Piedra Vista, and, of course, Alamogordo along with Hobbs. Now, on the other side of the bracket, it is going to be Hobbs versus El Paso Parkland, and they are 8-1 against El Paso Parkland. And Mayfield versus Holy Cross, be Artesia versus Farmington, and I think that's well, I can't remember. I can never remember who WF Legacy is, but they're going to be facing against Albuquerque High. And somebody was asking about rebounds, so let's see if we can get that quickly. So 2 for Zapata, 7 for Mendoza. Hardison had 1, Rivera had 2, Ross had 2. Muniz had 2, and I had one team rebound for 2 or 1. So let's see. So 17 rebounds for Hobbs. And it is 23 rebounds, so they led that way too. 23 rebounds for Los Lunas. Ornelas had 2, 1 for Salazar, 2 for Hanks. It was 5 for Flores. Finley had 5, and Brookins with 3. Of course, all these are unofficial. So we're going to get ready and gear up for the next game back in Taxter Arena for the next 3 days. The Hobbs Holiday Tournament coming strong to you from the staff of the No-Mark Broadcasting Services, along with my brother, who was the cameraman, Jared Bear. Jedster was here as well, trying to help out as much as he could, and he did probably help a little bit on the internet. And for Tiffany Stuber, Evie Stuber, and everybody else listening, thank you very much, by the way, for watching and paying attention to the Hobbs Lady Eagles. I am Ron Gunner, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And we're going to see you on just the couple of days, next week actually, on Monday, to start the Hobbs Holiday Tournament. Take care of yourselves. Hope everybody that is going back home is going to be having a safe and happy holiday season.